Yo, what's good, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry Sistas review. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, then you already know what it is and what it always will be. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell somebody to tell somebody if you choose to. But if not, just sit back, relax while we get into this messy thing. And I'm calling this thing messy because I actually really had to sit with my thoughts about this particular scene from last week's episode. And this conversation between Andy and Fatima just pissed me off again. And I want to give a shout out to my sis, Jackie, Shy Girl, under my comments. And she posted a comment. I'm gonna try to put it in here if I remember, but it was like 26 replies. So it was a lot of engagement, and I was trying to read everybody's comment. And I was like, I think this would be a great video topic discussion. And a lot of things happened in this particular scene that just absolutely floored me. And I know there's a group of people who feel as if the writers are on this thing to show that they absolutely love Karen. I'm like, baby, we'll never have that. It's just amazing me. It's amazing to me how when things can be going right or good for this character for a moment after everything that she's endured, you can have people say, oh, the writers must like her, or the writers are showing that she's their favorite. How? When this woman has been through pure and utter hell, the things that she endured in this season, I don't understand how that's even a conversation. But you know what? To each their own. I ain't really here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about this particular moment between Fatima and Andy. Andy apologized to Fatima because they're trying to figure out what exactly is happening in their sisterhood, in their friendship. Fatima brings up the fact, are you upset because I'm working with professional athletes? Is it my relationship with Karen? And Andy tells her, no, I'm glad that you guys are closer. That's great. Then she proceeds to say, I owe you an apology. I allowed my insecurities and jealousy basically to get the best of me. And it really irritated me that the writers did not allow Andy to elaborate on what she meant by her jealousy and her insecurities. And so the only thing that I can come up is what she's talking about Fatima's proximity to Karen. When Fatima said, is it my relationship with Karen? My thing is, you and Karen don't even really have a relationship. Like, that's number one. And then number two, Andy says, we're literally fighting a case for Karen, and she calls you for everything. Number one, Karen basically told Andy she didn't want any parts of this case. Now, granted, it was like literally the day after Karen came home from the hospital. So dealing with death of children and death of women during childbirth under the care of Dr. Cruz, of course, Karen is not in the right mindset to even have that conversation. So the fact that Andy is doing this case, I respect her for doing it, but don't put that weight on Karen. That's not her thing. You're doing this because, one, you should be doing it, and two, it is the right thing to do. Andy also states that Karen calls you for everything. And this is where the writers tend to piss me off, because they just be writing stuff that makes absolutely no sense. Karen called Fatima once. Karen also laid out exactly why she did not call Andy, why she didn't call Sabrina, and why she didn't call Danny. It was explicit in her explanation as to why she didn't do such a thing. To have Andy apologize for being jealous and insecure because Karen called Fatima, and if she has ever treated her not like a sister, she apologized and it would never happen again. This is where I got to call bullshit. Okay, because I have been saying this for so long, and I have to go back to Exhibit A. When that damn picture was floating around Atlanta of Karen kissing Zach on the cheek, Fatima had a conversation with Andy, and she made Andy promise. I ain't gonna say she made her. She basically asked Andy, promise me that you're not gonna say anything to Karen. And Andy promised her. And because of this promise, Andy left a pregnant Karen vulnerable to Zach's immature ass. He pops up on her while she's out with Aaron, proceeds to put hands on this pregnant woman, pushing her on back down on the chair, telling her she ain't going nowhere. Proceeds to get into a fight with Aaron, all because Andy wanted to keep her mouth shut and Andy did not want to betray Fatima. Yet you chose to betray Karen.
Don't. Karen, be reasonable. You know what? No, I'm not going to be reasonable, Andy, because if you had told me this shit, I could have called him and told him I didn't do that. Yes, and Karen, I just didn't want to. What? What you can do is get the fuck out. That's what you could do. I didn't want to. Get out! You betrayed me? You don't want to betray her, but she'll betray me. That is of all people. Just let me speak. Get out!
This was one of my favorite moments of Karen when she basically just told Andy to get out her house. I loved it because she was not sugarcoating anything. Andy, you betrayed me, period. And if you would have told me before, I could have handled it. I could have called Zach to ensure that none of this stuff would have happened. And I could have told him that what I'm being accused of, I did not do it. So to see Andy sit across from Fatima with these crocodile tears in her eyes, as if she is so hurt, as if she is so emotionally damaged that Karen reached out to Fatima one time, Andy could kiss my ass. And I'm talking about put a smooch on both cheeks. Because how dare you sit here and cry because Karen did not call you in her time of need when you have been playing that woman to the left ever since you've been starting to build this buddy-buddy relationship with Fatima. I don't understand it. The fact that you could betray your friend and then say that Karen owed you an apology for your betrayal is wild to me. It will forever be wild to me. It will forever be wild to me that Andy did not give two damns about Karen's feelings when it came to Karen having to watch this budding sisterhood happen between Fatima and Andy. When Karen had to, on several occasions, hear her sisters esteem Fatima, talk about how great Fatima is, that Fatima would be in our sister circle if it wasn't for Zach. She really is a cool chick. And I'm thinking, even if all those things are true, you have a friend who is mourning the loss of her relationship. She is pregnant at the time, not knowing that it was two babies, just one. And she believed that this was Zach's baby, and yet he's building a future with someone else. And I'm not saying that anyone should placate to their friend. I'm not saying that anyone should not be honest with their friends. But what I am saying is I am so grateful and I am so glad that Andy is getting just a millimeter taste of her own medicine. Because the things that this woman did when it comes to the whole Karen and Fatima thing, for me as a friend watching it, it's sickening. When you know Karen might not say everything that you want her to say. She may say things that you don't want to hear. But when it comes to Danny, Sabrina, and Andy, she has stood 10 toes down and has been nothing but loyal to each and every one of them. So I don't give a damn. Matter of fact, I don't give two damns about these crocodile tears in Andy's eyes because she wasn't the chosen one for once. And why should you be when you have shown Karen countless of times the type of friend that you are? And I know it's some Andy lovers out there, and that's fine too. And I'm not saying that she has been the worst friend all the time, but she is extremely inconsistent when it comes to her friendship with Karen. And for me, I think that matters the most because that's the person who she was most closest to. That's the friendship that they showed us from the very beginning. That was the true foundation of this sister circle. And for her to be so careless in some of the things that she let come out her mouth, for her to be so careless in some of her actions towards her best friend Karen, it's just, I could never get on board with that. I just couldn't. Can't and won't. And there have been a number of times as Fatima and Andy were getting close that Karen got the short end of the stick when it came to her friendship with Andi. That's just a fact. There are episodes and scenes to solidify what I'm saying. Even after Andi did all of that and Karen told her to get the F out of her house, she had the audacity, the unmitigated gall to tell Aaron that Karen owed her an apology. After this heifer betrayed her best friend of 18 plus years, you have the audacity to say that she owes you an apology. I don't remember Andi ever apologizing to Karen. I don't remember Andi ever telling Karen, baby, if I have treated you anything less of a sister, I'm sorry. I did tell Fatima, I promised her that I wouldn't say anything, but I did not even think about what it would do to you or how Zach would respond. I wasn't expecting a fight to happen. That's on me. That's my bad. She didn't do that, but we see her in this restaurant crying. I wanted to pop Andi in her damn throat. What you crying for? And then you apologizing when there does not need to be an apology. The truth is, Fatima was not doing the damn job that she was getting paid to do, as my sis so eloquently stated in her comment. Fatima was not doing what she was supposed to be doing. That is a fact. And there's a lot of people that was underneath Jackie's comment basically stating how Fatima took responsibility, Fatima took accountability. And I said, people throw that word around without actually knowing what the hell it means. Accountability is not doing something and then apologizing for it and then doing it again. And that is exactly what we saw Fatima do. Oh, I need the nursing statements. I need the nursing testimonies. She forgot it. Oh, I get it to you. Andi sees her in the conference room. Ask her about it again. She forgot again. I'm going to get it to you, Andi. Then when she gets Andi these reports, it's not even the correct dates that Andi needed. So not only did you forget twice, when you did get around to it, you're so engulfed with what you're doing by making your work with these contracts a priority that you're messing up the things that I need. That is what Fatima was doing. That is not taking accountability for what the hell you're supposed to be doing. That is not taking accountability for the lack that you have been showing in your job. And as I stated, I'm not saying that people can't have a bad day. I'm not saying that people can have an off day. You can, but Fatima doesn't have the luxury to have an off day. You are working with a partner now. You don't have the luxury to do those things. And so when I saw Andi crying, I'm like, Heifer, what? Why are you shedding tears right now? And I think for me, I think that's the thing that really just got to me, because we have seen Andi betray Karen. We have seen Andi feel like I want to get closer to Fatima, so my relationship over here is going to suffer. And I can't remember who I was having, I'm going to say, a debate with in the comments. And I'm not saying that Andi needed to agree with everything that Karen was doing or needed to agree with what Karen was saying. But Andi just proved several times that you don't know how to be a friend to both of these women. And I'm just going to say, for me, my friends who I've been friends with for 18 plus years, and this new person come and I find this person to be cool and everything like that, I always said that Andi should have nipped stuff in the bud when it came to Fatima and Zach. Fatima, dog, we could be cool and everything, but when it come to you and Zach, that's just a conversation, sis, that you and I won't have. Because at the end of the day, my sister used to date him. You know what I'm saying? My sister was with him for 3 years. So what do I look like giving you advice or talking to you about this man when I know my sister still is in love with him at that time? I know my sister still, has feelings for him or even hopes that they get back together. I'm not even going to put myself in that type of predicament. I'm not going to do it. But because Andi didn't do that, she put herself in a position to be in the middle. And then she would lie. I don't tell Fatima anything that you tell me, and I don't tell you anything that Fatima tell me. You're lying, Andi, because you've done it. You told Fatima several things that Karen had said. Man, I wanted Karen to pop Andi in her mouth so many times, because you're lying, and she knows you're lying. And never once did Andi apologize. Never once did she cry and say, if I treated you less than a sister, baby, I'm sorry, Karen. Karen, I need you. I know you love Zach, but baby, you got to move on. And she has said that to Karen, so I'm not gonna say that she has not. She definitely has said that, baby, he's moved on. I want you to move on. I know it hurts, but this is who he's with. This is who he loves. Period. I don't gotta agree with my friend, but one thing I'm never going to do, I am never going to have my friend doubt my loyalty to her. And I think that's where people kind of differ, and it just depends on what's important to you in a friendship. In my friendships, loyalty means everything. Trust means everything. I want my friends to be able to trust me. I want my friends to know that I am loyal to you. And honestly, I'm one of those people. I'm loyal to a fault. And I ain't no dumb chick, and I ain't no stupid chick. And I am very honest with my friends. And for those my friends who listen to me, a lot of them don't comment. Some of them do, but they kind of like support in the background. But they know when it comes to truth, I am going to tell you the truth. Now, you don't have to like it. What you do with it is what you do with it. But I'm never going to be a person that's going to be in someone's life, and I cannot be 100% with you, because I feel like I'm doing you a disservice as a friend, just as a person, and I'm doing myself a disservice as well, because why would I want to be associated with anybody who I can't be, all the way real and raw with? But it just baffled me, this apology. It baffled me how Andi wasn't able to really go into detail about what the hell were you insecure about. Because Karen made one phone call, because you were not the chosen person, because you weren't there to fix her life. Like, I don't even understand. And then she does go into detail with Fatima. Like, that's why when people say that she was jealous of the things that Fatima was doing in the law firm, I couldn't understand that, because Fatima has to get on the journey that Andi is on. Why would she be jealous of that? And I do like the fact that they did have Andi say, I've always rooted for you. I've always felt like you could be a good lawyer, because those are conversations that we have actually seen Andi have with Fatima. She has rooted for her. Y'all remember when Fatima failed that damn test and Andi was mad at the professor for giving Fatima the D that she rightfully deserved? Y'all remember that? That let me know. Andi, I understand, sis, but I don't understand it. Stop it. Fatima deserved that D because her ass ain't studying. She over here worried about these contracts, baby. I'm gonna need you to be worried about passing the bar. That's what I'm gonna need you to worry. Before you even pass the bar, I'm gonna need you to be passing them tests in law school. Fatima don't even talk about law school anymore. Like, those things are not even discussed. But that whole entire scene was just so baffling to me, as far as Fatima acting as if she doesn't know why Andi has an issue with her, because you weren't doing your damn job, period. And I don't understand why the writers didn't have Andi say that, like, for that to be a comeback of hers. Well, Fatima, as I stated before, you have not been doing what's expected of you. And for that, I need to know why. I'm happy that you got, other stuff going on, but that other stuff cannot take priority over what I need you to do. And it has been. And not only has it taken priority, it has caused you to be lackadaisical in the things that I need you to do for this case. Period. And I know some people going to say, well, her boss didn't even want her to take on the case. But that's the thing. Y'all made Andi a partner. She doesn't need your approval. She could take it amongst the board and they can vote. But just because he doesn't want her to do it doesn't mean she should stop doing it. She should stop researching and getting all the information that she needs to present a viable case to the other partners or the board. So she can continue to do these things. It does not take away from Fatima not doing what is expected of her. But I just thought that was just a very interesting moment, a very interesting scene. If I was Andi, first of all, me and Fatima wouldn't have had a conversation, because I'm not getting up from this meeting that my friend called to have this conversation with you, because it's not that important. And even what they discussed, it was not that important. Who cares? We will discuss this when we're on the clock, period. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, I didn't like it. I just want, honestly, Andi needs to get her another assistant. Fatima just needs to be the paralegal for whatever floor she's working with or whatever attorney she's working with, and not just Andi's assistant. Get you another assistant, Andi, that can be all about the things that you need, who are not trying to make a name for themselves at this moment, because to me, that's what I feel Fatima is trying to do. And I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. I just feel like it does not work with her being Andi's assistant. And that's just how I feel. But I want to thank you guys for listening. Until next time, I will holler at y'all later, and y'all be safe out there. Bye.